The world stood still as King Frederik X of Denmark took center stage to deliver a tribute so emotional, so deeply personal, and so breathtakingly honest that it not only stunned the people of Denmark but captured the hearts of millions around the globe. In a world where royals are often bound by protocol, composure, and stoic tradition, this single moment broke through all the barriers, and reminded us that beneath the crown, there beats a very real, very human heart. What King Frederik did and said that day has not only shaken the foundations of royal formality, but also rewritten the very way the monarchy is perceived by an increasingly modern public. It wasn't just the words he spoke, it was how he looked at her. The tremble in his voice. The pause in between sentences that spoke louder than anything else. It was the way his eyes searched hers, as though still in disbelief that the girl he fell in love with all those years ago is now his queen. And for Queen Mary, who stood quietly, her hands clasped, her smile trembling with emotion, the tribute meant more than any title, any protocol, any ceremony. It was a reminder that the love story between King Frederik and Queen Mary is not just royal fairy tale material, it is real, raw, and still unfolding right before our eyes. The tribute came during an official state banquet, a moment many expected to follow the same ceremonial script royals typically observe. But as King Frederik rose to speak, the room fell into a hush not just out of respect, but anticipation. The cameras were rolling, the silver cutlery paused in midair, and Denmark's most elite citizens, politicians, diplomats, aristocrats, and longtime royal watchers, were about to witness something they would never forget. As the king began, his voice steady but visibly strained by emotion, he spoke of the passage of time. Of how they first met during the Sydney Olympics. How he felt an instant pull, a magnetic force that brought him to a young Mary Donaldson from Hobart, Australia, who had no royal blood, no noble titles, but all the qualities he had ever dreamed of in a partner. He spoke not as a monarch, but as a man, one who had found love in the most unexpected place, and had fought through obstacles, public skepticism, and royal expectations to be with her. He shared anecdotes that had never before been revealed, of late-night walks, quiet laughs, handwritten notes, and moments of doubt overcome with unwavering support. He described Mary as his anchor in storms, his compass when lost, and above all, the light that makes every royal duty worth carrying. Those words weren't poetic fluff. They carried the weight of 2 decades spent side by side, raising 4 children, navigating royal scandals, enduring the immense pressures of public life, and still making time to be just Frederik and Mary, 2 souls in love. What made the tribute even more powerful was the way he acknowledged her sacrifices. Queen Mary gave up her country, her career, and her anonymity. She embraced the harsh spotlight of European royalty, learned the Danish language to near perfection, and endured waves of public scrutiny with grace. King Frederik looked straight into her eyes and said, "You did not marry into royalty. Royalty married into you." The crowd erupted into applause. Some gasped, others had tears glistening in their eyes. But it was Queen Mary's face that said it all. The way she clutched the edge of the podium for balance, fighting back tears, trying to hold it all in, only to finally smile through her emotion as the room gave them a standing ovation. International media quickly picked up the moment. It made headlines in Australia, the UK, across Europe, and even in the US, where royal moments of this kind are rare and deeply appreciated. Analysts called it one of the most genuine public expressions of royal love in modern history. Even former royal staff members, usually reserved in their comments, publicly praised the king for his courage and authenticity. Royal historian Helena Sorensen said, "This was not just a tribute to a wife, it was a rewriting of royal masculinity. It showed the king not as distant and cold, but as warm, vulnerable, and emotionally present." But it wasn't just the words that made this tribute so unforgettable. It was the symbolism, the choice of location, the very palace where Mary was first introduced to Danish society. The flowers selected, native Australian and Danish blooms intertwined. Even the music in the background, quietly playing the love song they danced to at their wedding reception nearly 2 decades ago. Every element was chosen with care, and together they painted a picture of enduring love that no tabloid rumor or public speculation could tarnish. And yes, many wondered if this grand tribute was also a public response to the subtle tension and scrutiny the royal couple has faced in recent months. There were rumors, harmless in some corners, hurtful in others, that Queen Mary had taken solo holidays, that she was sometimes seen distant at official events. Whispers that their royal schedule had been restructured to give them more space. But King Frederik didn't run from those rumors. Instead, He addressed them without directly naming them. "We have stood through winds stronger than the storm," he said. "And we're still standing, not as two, but one." It was his way of saying, "Yes, we've had our challenges, but love wins. Always." Throughout the evening, Queen Mary didn't speak publicly, but her presence said everything. She held her husband's hand longer than usual. She kissed him on the cheek when she thought the cameras weren't watching. And when they danced later that night, it wasn't with the stiff grace of protocol, but with the ease of familiarity, of shared memories, of inside jokes and private dreams. It reminded everyone that while crowns may define status, it's love that defines a reign. Across Denmark, the reaction was overwhelming. Social media lit up with praise and emotion. Longtime royal watchers said they had never seen such genuine public affection between royals. Younger generations, often indifferent to monarchy, found themselves moved by what felt like a modern love story with old-world elegance. Schools held discussions. Couples quoted the king's speech in wedding toasts. Even political figures who typically keep their distance from royal matters praised the emotional power of the moment. The Danish royal house later released a behind-the-scenes photo of the couple embracing in private after the speech, a candid moment filled with intimacy and warmth. In it, Queen Mary rests her head on Frederik's shoulder, eyes closed, as he gently kisses her hair. That single image was shared millions of times online. It became an icon of royal romance, a symbol of love in high places that somehow still feels grounded and real. The impact of the tribute wasn't limited to just public sentiment. Royal insiders revealed that the speech had been entirely written by King Frederik himself, no speechwriters, no PR consultants. Just the king, sitting late into the night, revisiting memories, and crafting words from the heart. That revelation only added to the authenticity of the moment. It wasn't polished perfection, it was raw, emotional, and utterly human. It also sparked a global conversation about what it means to be royal in the 21st century. Is it just about duty and tradition? Or is it also about connection, vulnerability, and humanity? King Frederik's speech made the case that it must be both. That royalty is evolving, not away from history, but forward into empathy and emotional openness. His tribute wasn't just to his wife, but to a new kind of monarchy, one that speaks with both strength and softness. This unforgettable moment will surely be studied, quoted, and remembered for years to come. It was more than just a tribute. It was a love letter, a public vow, and a masterclass in emotional leadership all rolled into one. And in doing so, King Frederik not only honored Queen Mary, he inspired a generation to believe in lasting love, in emotional courage, and in the quiet power of heartfelt words. So as the lights dimmed in the royal palace and the world replayed those magical minutes over and over, one truth rang louder than all others: true love, when nurtured, when protected, when declared boldly, has the power to move nations. King Frederik reminded us of that. And Queen Mary, ever graceful, reminded us why she's more than a queen, she's the heart of the monarchy. But what do you think? Could this powerful tribute redefine the future of royal relationships across Europe? Could we see more royal men following King Frederik's lead and embracing public displays of emotional sincerity? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you were touched by this royal love story, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most importantly, subscribe for more emotionally gripping and exclusive stories from royal families around the world.